What if a single book held secrets so explosive that ancient leaders hid it from the world? Picture a text brimming with tales of rebellious angels, towering giants, and visions of the end times, too potent for the Western Christian canon. Welcome to the Book of Enoch, a sacred collection cherished in the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, yet shunned elsewhere for its vivid supernatural revelations. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover its mysteries, diving into a spiritual realm where angels defy divine orders, giants roam the earth, and prophecies foretell a cosmic reckoning. This isn't just a dusty old text, it's a window into a hidden world that challenges how we view the Bible, angels, and the fate of humanity. The Book of Enoch, a compilation of 5 distinct works, offers a glimpse into a universe where the spiritual and physical collide. Its pages pulse with stories of celestial beings interacting with humans, divine judgments reshaping history, and prophecies that echo eerily familiar themes found in Scripture. Why was this book, preserved faithfully in Ethiopia, deemed too dangerous for the Western Church? Its unflinching detail about the unseen realm, angels falling from grace, teaching forbidden arts, and triggering divine wrath, may have been too much for early church leaders to embrace. Yet its preservation in Ethiopia suggests it holds truths too vital to erase. As we explore Enoch's visions, we'll uncover why this text was sidelined and how its revelations about angelic rebellions and divine justice connect to familiar biblical stories. Imagine a world where the supernatural isn't just a metaphor, but a vivid reality shaping human destiny. The Book of Enoch invites us to see beyond the physical, to a realm where God's plan unfolds in dramatic, cosmic battles. Let's step into this forbidden narrative, where the stakes are eternal, and discover what truths await. The forbidden can reveal profound truths, urging us to seek wisdom in the shadows of history. As we step into the forbidden narrative of the Book of Enoch, its shadowy exclusion from the Western Christian canon beckons us to ask, why was this text buried? Comprising 5 distinct works, each brimming with celestial visions and divine encounters, the Book of Enoch was deemed too provocative for the early Western Church, yet it found a sacred home in Ethiopia's Orthodox tradition. Its accounts of angels defying God's will, teaching humanity forbidden arts, and sparking cosmic upheaval challenged the tidy doctrines of early Christian leaders. Imagine a book so vivid it paints angels not as distant guardians, but as active players in human history, weaving a tapestry of spiritual drama too bold for some to accept. The Western Church, seeking a streamlined canon, likely found Enoch's unflinching dive into the supernatural unsettling. Its stories of fallen angels and divine judgments felt too raw, too unfiltered. In contrast, Ethiopia embraced this text, weaving it into their spiritual fabric, preserving its revelations as a cornerstone of faith. Picture a modern parallel, a groundbreaking book exposing hidden truths about the universe, shelved because it disrupts established beliefs. Enoch's detailed visions of heavenly courts and angelic rebellions didn't just push boundaries, they shattered them, questioning who controls spiritual narratives. The Western Church's decision to exclude it wasn't just about doctrine, it was about control, about keeping the divine mystery at arm's length. Yet Ethiopia's choice to cherish Enoch shows a fearless embrace of the spiritual unknown, a willingness to grapple with truths others deemed too dangerous. Their union with humans produces the Nephilim, towering figures whose very existence defies God's order, spreading violence and corruption like wildfire through a dry forest. This story isn't isolated to Enoch. It echoes in Genesis 6:1-4, where the sons of God marry human daughters, resulting in Nephilim described as heroes of old, men of renown. Yet these giants are no heroes in Enoch's account. They're agents of destruction, their birth a symptom of angelic rebellion. Picture a modern rebellion, a group entrusted with protecting society, instead sowing discord for their own ends. The Book of the Watchers sets the stage for a cosmic drama where divine boundaries are crossed and the consequences ripple through creation. As we explore this tale, we'll see how this rebellion triggers divine justice, reshaping humanity's path. Rebellion against divine order brings chaos, reminding us that defying God's plan invites destruction. Angelic rebellion unleashes chaos. The Nephilim emerge as its monstrous legacy, towering over humanity's path to destruction. Born from the forbidden union of fallen angels and human women, these giants, described in the Book of Enoch, are no mere legends, but agents of corruption, spreading violence and moral decay like a plague across the earth. Picture a once thriving city overrun by lawlessness, where unchecked power consumes everything in its path. This is the world the Nephilim create. In Enoch's vivid account, these colossal beings devour resources, incite bloodshed, and drag humanity into a spiral of wickedness so severe that creation itself groans under their weight. Genesis 6:4 briefly mentions them as heroes of old, men of renown, but Enoch reveals their true nature, not heroes, but tyrants whose presence poisons the world. Imagine a modern parallel, a force so disruptive it upends society, leaving only ruin in its wake, like a wildfire consuming all it touches. The Nephilim's rampage isn't just physical. Their influence erodes the moral fabric, leading people further from God's design. Enoch paints a world so steeped in sin that God deems a radical solution, the Great Flood, a divine act to wash away the corruption and reset creation. This mirrors Genesis 6:5-7, where God grieves humanity's wickedness, resolving to cleanse the earth. The Nephilim, as the offspring of rebellion, embody the consequences of defying divine boundaries, their existence a warning of what happens when sin festers unchecked. As we move forward, we'll uncover how this corruption extends beyond physical chaos, delving into the forbidden knowledge that fueled it. Sin's consequences ripple across creation, showing that unchecked evil reshapes the world. What if knowledge, meant to elevate, becomes a weapon of ruin? As the Nephilim's chaos scars the earth, the Book of Enoch reveals a deeper corruption, the Watcher's gift of forbidden arts to humanity. These fallen angels, led by figures like Azazel, teach weapon-making, sorcery, and astrology, skills that twist human hearts further from God's design. Imagine a trusted mentor sharing secrets that empower but corrupt, like handing a child a loaded gun with no guidance. In Enoch's account, these teachings aren't mere tools, they're catalysts for moral collapse, turning humanity's curiosity into a gateway for sin. Weaponry fuels violence, sorcery opens doors to spiritual darkness, and astrology shifts trust from God to the stars. This mirrors Genesis 3, where the serpent tempts Eve with the tree of knowledge, promising wisdom but delivering separation from God. Picture a modern parallel, technology meant to advance society spiraling into addiction or destruction when stripped of ethical bounds. The Watcher's lessons amplify humanity's rebellion, deepening the chaos begun by the Nephilim. Enoch shows these arts as a betrayal of divine wisdom, luring people into a false sense of power. Like a river poisoned at its source, this knowledge taints all it touches, leading to a world so corrupt that divine intervention becomes inevitable. The Book of Enoch warns that wisdom, when divorced from God's purpose, becomes a tool of destruction, echoing the fall in Eden, where seeking forbidden insight led to exile. As we press forward, we'll see how God responds to this spiraling sin, sending archangels to restore order. Knowledge without divine guidance destroys, teaching us that true wisdom aligns with God's will. Can divine justice tame a world spiraling into chaos? As the Watcher's forbidden knowledge poisons humanity, the Book of Enoch unveils God's decisive response. He dispatches archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel to confront the rebellious angels. These celestial warriors, radiant with divine authority, bind the Watchers, chaining them in a dark abyss to await final judgment. Picture a skilled team of enforcers stepping in to halt a rampant uprising, restoring order where anarchy reigns. In Enoch's vivid narrative, the archangels are not mere messengers, but agents of God's wrath, executing his will with precision to curb the chaos sparked by angelic rebellion. This act of divine intervention finds echoes in the Bible, where 2 Peter 2:4 declares that God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them in chains of darkness. Similarly, Jude 1:6 speaks of angels kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment. These passages confirm Enoch's account, showing the Watcher's imprisonment as a prelude to their ultimate reckoning. Imagine a modern courtroom where justice swiftly apprehends those who disrupt society's order. This is the cosmic scale of the archangel's mission. Their actions reaffirm God's sovereignty, proving that no rebellion, however celestial, can outlast his authority. The abyss, a place of confinement, symbolizes the certainty of divine justice, holding the Watchers until the day of God's final verdict. As we move forward, we'll explore how this divine intervention paves the way for a greater act of restoration, the Great Flood. Justice prevails when God intervenes, reminding us that his authority restores order to a broken world. What if a single act could erase a world's corruption and offer a fresh start? As the archangels bind the Watchers, the Book of Enoch reveals God's ultimate response to the Nephilim's chaos, the Great Flood, a cataclysmic event that reshapes creation. This deluge, vividly detailed in Enoch and mirrored in Genesis 6:5-7, sweeps away the giants' corruption, cleansing the earth of their violence and moral decay. Imagine a raging storm clearing a polluted landscape, washing away ruin to reveal new life beneath. This is the flood's dual role as both judgment and mercy. In Enoch's account, the world had become so tainted by the Nephilim's influence that God's justice demanded a reset. Yet his mercy spared Noah, a righteous man chosen to carry humanity's hope. Genesis describes God's grief over humanity's wickedness, stating he would wipe from the face of the earth the human race he created, yet Noah's survival signals a new beginning. Picture a modern crisis, like a city rebuilt after a devastating fire, where destruction paves the way for renewal. The flood in Enoch isn't just punishment, it's a divine act of restoration, purging the world to realign it with God's order. Noah's Ark, a beacon of hope amid the waters, embodies God's promise to preserve the faithful even in judgment. Both Enoch and Genesis present the flood as a turning point, where divine wrath and compassion intertwine to reset creation's course. As we continue, we'll explore how Enoch's visions shift to the heavenly courts, unveiling the cosmic justice that follows. Divine resets offer hope amid destruction, showing that God's judgment always carries the seeds of renewal. What if justice unfolds not on earth, but in a celestial courtroom? As the Great Flood resets creation, the Book of Enoch's parables transport us to heavenly courts where divine justice reigns supreme. In these vivid visions, Enoch witnesses a cosmic struggle between good and evil, where God, surrounded by holy angels, presides as the ultimate judge, dispensing flawless verdicts. Picture a grand tribunal, unswayed by human flaws, where every deed is weighed with perfect clarity. This is the divine court Enoch beholds. The Book of Parables, or Similitudes, unveils a realm where the righteous shine in glory and the wicked face condemnation, with no sin escaping God's gaze. Central to these visions is the Son of Man, a messianic figure who orchestrates the final judgment, his authority radiating like a beacon over creation. This scene echoes Daniel 7:9-10, where the Ancient of Days sits on a throne, with books opened and justice served before countless angels. Imagine a modern analogy, a global summit where truth prevails and every action is accounted for, no matter how hidden. Enoch's heavenly courts reveal a cosmic battle, not just of flesh but of spiritual forces, where the fate of humanity and angels hangs in balance. The Son of Man's role as judge underscores that divine justice transcends earthly conflicts, addressing the root of rebellion. Unlike human courts, where delays and errors cloud truth, God's tribunal operates with unerring precision, ensuring the righteous triumph and the wicked face reckoning. As we delve deeper, we'll uncover the Son of Man's cosmic authority and what it means for all creation. God's justice is perfect and inevitable, assuring us that truth will always prevail in His court. Who holds the power to judge both heaven and earth? Enoch's depiction goes further, presenting him as the cosmic sovereign who holds the destiny of angels, humans, and the universe itself. His judgments are final, restoring balance where sin once reigned. Unlike earthly rulers, whose power fades, the Son of Man's authority is eternal, his throne unshaken by time or rebellion. This figure bridges Enoch's ancient visions with the New Testament's promise of a returning Messiah, affirming that divine justice will triumph. As we press on, we'll explore the fate awaiting the fallen angels under this cosmic judge. The Messiah holds creation's fate, reminding us that true authority rests in God's chosen one. What becomes of those who defy the divine? As the Son of Man's authority shines in Enoch's visions, the Book of Parables unveils the grim fate of the fallen angels and their Nephilim offspring, eternal torment in a realm of unyielding justice. These rebels, once celestial beings, are cast into a fiery abyss, their rebellion against God's order sealing their doom. Imagine a rogue faction, once trusted, now facing unrelenting consequences for betraying their purpose, like a corrupt official stripped of power and exiled forever. Enoch's vivid imagery paints a scene where the Watchers and their giant progeny face divine retribution, their punishment a stark warning of rebellion's cost. This theme resonates in 1 Corinthians 6:3, where Paul declares that the righteous will judge angels, a striking role reversal where humans partake in divine justice over celestial beings. Picture a courtroom where the betrayed judge the betrayers, affirming God's unassailable authority. The parables emphasize that no power, angelic or otherwise, escapes God's verdict. The Nephilim's chaos and the Watcher's defiance meet an eternal end. Unlike earthly justice, which may falter, this divine reckoning is absolute, ensuring that sin's legacy is eradicated. Enoch's vision underscores that rebellion, however grand, cannot outlast God's justice, as the fallen are consigned to torment without reprieve. This cosmic judgment serves as a sobering reminder that actions have eternal weight. As we move forward, we'll explore the hope offered to the righteous, contrasting this dark fate. Rebellion leads to eternal consequences, teaching us that defying God's will brings inescapable judgment. What awaits those who remain faithful amidst chaos? As the fallen angels face eternal torment, the book of Enoch's parables offer a radiant promise to the righteous, a new creation free from sin's shadow, where they will dwell with God in eternal peace. This vision of hope, where the faithful inherit a world unmarred by suffering, shines like a lighthouse guiding ships through a stormy night. In Enoch's prophecy, the righteous are not merely spared, but exalted, welcomed into a divine realm of joy and light, a promise echoed in Revelation 21:1-3, where a new heaven and earth emerge, and God dwells among His people, wiping away all tears. Imagine a community rebuilt after a devastating crisis, its people united in harmony, free from past scars. This is the eternal inheritance Enoch envisions. Unlike the fleeting rewards of this world, this divine gift is everlasting, reserved for those who hold fast to God's truth despite temptation and trial. Picture a marathon runner, exhausted yet pressing on, knowing the finish line brings not just rest but glory. The Book of Enoch assures the faithful that their perseverance will be rewarded with a place in God's renewed creation where sin's corruption holds no power. This hope contrasts sharply with the abyss awaiting the rebellious, highlighting the eternal divide between obedience and defiance. Revelation's vision of God's presence among His people mirrors Enoch's promise, affirming that faithfulness leads to divine fellowship. As we continue, we'll explore how Enoch's visions extend to the cosmic order, revealing God's design in the heavens. Faithfulness yields eternal reward, reminding us that loyalty to God's path leads to everlasting life. What if the heavens themselves proclaim God's eternal order? As the promise of a new creation uplifts the righteous, the Book of Enoch's astronomical book shifts our gaze skyward, revealing the sun, moon, and stars moving in perfect harmony under angelic guidance. This celestial dance, orchestrated by divine forces, unveils a cosmic blueprint far beyond human design. Imagine a master clock, its gears ticking in flawless rhythm, each movement reflecting a greater purpose. This is the universe Enoch beholds. Unlike the chaotic human calendars that drift and falter, the astronomical book, or Book of Heavenly Luminaries, presents a divine system where celestial bodies follow God's precise commands. Angels oversee each star and planet, ensuring their paths align with the Creator's will, a vision that contrasts sharply with humanity's attempts to impose order through irregular lunar cycles. Picture a community relying on a faulty schedule, missing crucial moments. Human-made calendars, Enoch suggests, disrupt divine harmony. This cosmic order isn't mere astronomy, it's a spiritual revelation, showing how the heavens reflect God's sovereignty. The sun's steady path and the moon's measured cycles serve as a divine metronome, guiding humanity to live in sync with God's plan. This idea resonates in the Bible, where Psalm 19:1 declares, "The heavens declare the glory of God," affirming that creation itself testifies to divine authority. Enoch's vision challenges us to see the cosmos not as random, but as a sacred tapestry woven by God's hand. As we proceed, we'll uncover how this celestial order ties to a specific calendar, shaping spiritual life. Creation reflects God's sovereign plan, urging us to align our lives with His eternal rhythm. What if time itself could align us with God's will? As the heavens declare divine order, the Book of Enoch's astronomical book unveils a sacred system, a 364-day solar calendar designed to keep humanity in harmony with God's cosmic rhythm. Unlike the erratic lunar calendars that shift festivals and disrupt sacred cycles, this solar framework, mirrored in Ethiopia's 13-month calendar, anchors life in divine precision. Imagine a symphony where every note falls perfectly in place, guiding listeners into unity. This is the calendar Enoch champions. With 12 months of 30 days and a 13th month, Pagume, of 5 or 6 days, Ethiopia's calendar reflects Enoch's vision, ensuring Sabbaths, festivals, and harvests align with the sun's steady path. Picture a farmer planting by a flawed schedule, missing the season's bounty. Lunar calendars, Enoch warns, create such spiritual misalignment, throwing holy rhythms into chaos. In contrast, the solar calendar is a divine gift, a temporal map to honor God's order. Ethiopia's tradition, with Pagume as a reflective pause, treats time as a sacred practice, not mere measurement. This calendar's precision mirrors the sun's unwavering cycle, a testament to God's eternal consistency. Unlike human systems that falter, this divine structure keeps humanity tethered to spiritual truth. Enoch's teaching suggests that misaligned time fosters disorder, distancing us from God's plan. The Bible echoes this in Psalm 104:19, where the moon marks seasons by divine design, but Enoch emphasizes the sun's primacy for sacred alignment. As we move forward, we'll explore how angels guide these celestial rhythms, ensuring God's will shines through. Time kept right honors God, reminding us to live in sync with His eternal design. What if the stars themselves are guided by divine hands? As the solar calendar aligns humanity with God's rhythm, the book of Enoch's astronomical book reveals a deeper truth. Angels oversee the sun, moon, and stars, ensuring their movements reflect divine harmony. In Enoch's vision, these celestial bodies aren't random wanderers, but obedient servants, each guided by angelic overseers who uphold God's cosmic order. Imagine a vast orchestra with angels as musicians, each star and planet playing its part in a symphony of divine precision. This celestial stewardship, described in Enoch, finds a parallel in Job 38:31-33, where God asks, "Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades or loosen Orion's belt?" affirming that the heavens operate under His command. Picture a modern air traffic control system where every plane's path is meticulously directed to avoid chaos. Similarly, angels ensure the cosmos follows God's design. This isn't mere astronomy, it's a spiritual revelation, showing the heavens as a canvas painted with God's glory. Each star's path, each moon's phase, declares a purpose beyond the physical, urging humanity to see creation as a testament to divine sovereignty. Enoch's account strips away the notion of a random universe, revealing a system where even the smallest comet bows to God's will. Unlike human systems, prone to error, this angelic guidance is flawless, reflecting a cosmic order that mirrors God's eternal plan. The Bible echoes this in Psalm 147:4, noting God names each star, a reminder of His intimate control. As we proceed, we'll explore how sin disrupts this harmony, shaking the cosmos itself. The heavens declare God's glory, calling us to marvel at His unerring design. What happens when sin ripples beyond humanity, shaking the stars themselves? As angels guide the heavens in divine harmony, the book of Enoch's astronomical book warns that human rebellion disrupts this cosmic order, sending tremors through creation. Enoch's visions reveal that the Watcher's defiance and humanity's embrace of their forbidden arts don't just corrupt the earth, they unsettle the celestial rhythms, throwing the universe into disarray. Imagine a pristine ecosystem, balanced and thriving, suddenly destabilized by reckless human actions, like pollution poisoning a river's flow. This is sin's cosmic impact. In Enoch's account, the sun, moon, and stars falter when humanity strays, their divine paths disturbed by spiritual disobedience. This echoes Isaiah 24:19-21, where the prophet declares, "The earth is violently shaken. In that day, the Lord will punish the powers in the heavens above and the kings on the earth below," showing that sin's consequences reach beyond the terrestrial to the celestial. Picture a modern city's infrastructure collapsing under corruption, roads crack, systems fail. So too does sin fracture the divine order of the cosmos. Enoch teaches that human rebellion, like the Watcher's fall, triggers a universal chain reaction, disrupting the harmony God ordained. The heavens, meant to proclaim His glory, tremble when sin prevails, signaling a world out of alignment. This cosmic disturbance isn't mere metaphor, it's a spiritual truth, revealing how deeply interconnected creation is with God's will. As we move forward, we'll explore Enoch's prophetic dreams, unveiling history's divine narrative. Sin disturbs all creation, urging us to see our actions' far-reaching consequences. What if history itself were a divine tapestry woven with prophecy? As sin's cosmic ripples shake the heavens, the Book of Enoch's dream visions unveils a sweeping narrative through the animal apocalypse, using vivid animal symbolism to trace the world's story from creation to the end times. In this prophetic dream, sheep represent Israel, God's chosen people, while ferocious beasts, wolves, lions, and bears, embody oppressive nations seeking to devour them. Imagine a grand mural, each stroke depicting a nation's rise and fall, with Israel's journey at its heart. This is Enoch's vision. The animal apocalypse begins with Adam, symbolized as a white bull, and charts humanity's path through trials, with Israel's sheep enduring relentless attacks from predatory empires. These beasts, evoking powers like Egypt or Babylon, tear at the flock, symbolizing historical oppressions that test God's people. Picture a small community standing firm against overwhelming odds, like a village resisting a powerful invader, yet clinging to hope. Enoch's dreams aren't mere allegory. They reveal God's unfolding plan, showing Israel's struggles as part of a divine narrative leading to redemption. Unlike secular histories that focus on human triumphs, this vision frames history as a spiritual battleground where God's purpose prevails. The Bible echoes this in Daniel 7, where beasts symbolize kingdoms, yet God's kingdom endures. Enoch's animal apocalypse sets the stage for Israel's trials and ultimate triumph, reminding us that history is not random but guided by divine intent. As we proceed, we'll uncover the Messiah's role in this story, bringing hope to the oppressed. History reveals God's unfolding plan, urging us to see our place in His eternal purpose. What if a single figure could end oppression and usher in eternal peace? As history's divine narrative unfolds in Enoch's dream visions, the animal apocalypse introduces a messianic white bull, a powerful symbol of the Messiah who rescues Israel's beleaguered sheep from their predatory oppressors. This radiant figure brings harmony to a world torn by conflict, establishing a kingdom where justice and righteousness reign. Imagine a war-torn land transformed by a leader who unites all in peace, like a healer mending a fractured community. This is the Messiah's promise in Enoch. The white bull's arrival signals the end of Israel's suffering under beastly empires, offering a vision of restoration where the oppressed find refuge. This hope echoes Isaiah 11:6, where the wolf will live with the lamb, depicting a world where even the fiercest enemies coexist in harmony under divine rule. Picture a modern movement, like a grassroots effort, turning a divided society into one of unity and healing. Such is the transformative power of Enoch's Messiah. The white bull doesn't merely defeat the beasts, he reorders creation, fulfilling God's plan for a kingdom free from strife. Unlike earthly rulers whose peace is fleeting, this messianic reign is eternal, promising a world where persecution is no more. The Book of Enoch paints this restoration as the climax of Israel's trials, a divine assurance that God's people will triumph. This vision aligns with biblical promises of a Messiah who brings everlasting peace, showing that God's plan transcends temporal struggles. As we proceed, we'll explore how Israel's journey through exile leads to this redemption. The Messiah brings eternal peace, reminding us that God's kingdom heals all wounds. What if exile is not the end, but a path to divine restoration? As the Messiah's promise of peace dawns in Enoch's visions, the Book of Dream Visions traces Israel's arduous journey through scattering and ultimate redemption. Enoch's prophetic dreams reveal the sheep, God's chosen people, dispersed across nations, enduring trials, like the Babylonian captivity, yet destined for a glorious return. Imagine a family separated by war, longing for reunion, their hopes sustained by a promise of homecoming. This is Israel's story in Enoch. The animal apocalypse foresees the scattering of the sheep, symbolizing historical exiles under oppressive empires. Yet it also prophesies their gathering into a renewed land under God's care. This mirrors Ezekiel 28:25, where God declares, "I will gather the people of Israel from the nations where they have been scattered," promising restoration in their own land. Picture a modern diaspora, like refugees rebuilding their lives after years of displacement, their return a testament to enduring hope. Enoch's visions frame exile not as defeat, but as a chapter in God's redemptive plan, where tribulation refines the faithful. The promise of restoration shines as a beacon, assuring Israel that their suffering will lead to reconciliation with God. Unlike worldly promises that fade, this divine assurance is unshakable, pointing to a future where the righteous inherit a land free from oppression. The Book of Enoch underscores that God's plan weaves through history's darkest moments, guiding his people to redemption. As we proceed, we'll explore the final judgment that seals this promise, dividing the righteous from the wicked. God gathers his people in time, reminding us that his promises endure through every trial. What if every choice you make shapes your eternal fate? As God gathers Israel from exile, the Book of Enoch's visions culminate in a final judgment that divides humanity forever. In the dream visions and epistle, Enoch sees the righteous elevated to eternal life, basking in divine light, while the wicked, humans, fallen angels, and Nephilim are cast into an abyss of unending torment. Imagine a cosmic ledger opened, every deed weighed, like a final exam determining a student's lifelong path. This is the stakes of Enoch's judgment. Revelation 20:12-15 mirrors this, describing books opened before God's throne, where the righteous are inscribed in the book of life, and the wicked face the lake of fire. Picture a courtroom where no appeal exists, each verdict final, separating those who chose God from those who rejected him. Enoch's vision paints the righteous entering a realm of joy, free from pain, while the wicked endure eternal separation, a consequence of their rebellion. This divide underscores the weight of free will. Every decision, from following God's path to embracing sin, shapes one's destiny. Unlike earthly justice, where verdicts may falter, God's judgment is unerring, ensuring the faithful inherit life and the defiant face torment. The Book of Enoch and Revelation agree. The final judgment is a cosmic reckoning, where angels and humans alike answer for their choices. This eternal divide challenges us to reflect on our path, knowing our actions echo into eternity. As we conclude, we'll reflect on Enoch's timeless call to choose righteousness. Choices determine eternal destinies, urging us to align our lives with God's truth. What if an ancient call could shape your destiny today? As the final judgment divides the righteous from the wicked, the Book of Enoch closes with a heartfelt plea in the Epistle of Enoch, urging the wicked to repent and the faithful to stand firm. This timeless message, echoing Jesus' words in Matthew 4:17, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near," challenges us to choose righteousness before God's justice dawns. Imagine a lighthouse keeper, tirelessly signaling ships to avoid treacherous rocks. This is Enoch's role, warning humanity to turn from sin's perilous path. The epistle paints a vivid contrast. The righteous inherit eternal joy, while the unrepentant face the abyss, a choice as stark as a traveler at a crossroads deciding between life and peril. Enoch's visions of fallen angels, Nephilim, and cosmic upheavals resonate with today's world, where chaos, conflicts, and crises mirror the tribulations he foresaw. Picture a society teetering on the edge, with signs like global unrest or natural disasters suggesting the end times Enoch prophesied. Yet, his call to repentance offers hope, reminding us that God's mercy awaits those who seek him. This ancient text isn't just a relic, it's a mirror reflecting our choices, urging us to align with divine truth. The Book of Enoch weaves a narrative of rebellion, judgment, and redemption, showing that God's justice is certain, but His love endures for those who choose His path. If Enoch's message stirs your soul, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Do you see his prophecies unfolding now? As we reflect on this journey, let's embrace the call to live faithfully, knowing our choices echo into eternity. God's justice and mercy await our response, inviting us to walk in His light.